I'm going to do that really quick.
Let's try this again. So it's a thing that was a secret, right? Started publicly, the rituals.
And then while that's happening, I have to quickly go here and delete that story. Yeah, that sucks because I definitely hit unlisted, but whatever. I was like, there's too many people in here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So let's go like this and go private.
Privat.
All right.
Sorry, guys.
That was weird because I definitely hit unlisted and then it went. I saw the numbers start going and I was like, wait a minute. There's no way there's that many people.
All at once, yeah.
Yeah. Sorry about that, guys.
Are you do a post in the Patreon?
Yeah, I'm gonna quickly put this on Patreon.
Yeah, what's up, y'all?
What's up, everybody?
I hope you can hear us okay. I know it's a little echoey, but it's just we have the mic really hot and we just have it far away from us, so we're not like holding the mic.
We're testing something new. So Patreon.
But this is a like directional performance vocal mic. It's not like a podcaster guy mic, so. Wow, look how crazy I look in that thumbnail. I look so evil.
All right. Oh yeah. So we should be good to go now.
Okay.
So yeah, that looks a little bit better. 19 people in here.
That
was a little bit nuts.
I was like, wait a second.
Can you guys hear us all good and everything? Let's move that.
You're just gonna be able to hear everything. Like I just burped a while ago and I could hear it in my ears, even though I'm so far away from the microphone.
Everyone says sounds great.
Great.
We just got this new. Well, it's not new. It's a camera that we got to replace our old broken one.
Yeah.
And they just came out with an update where you could live stream with it. So
I think it's good that I broke our old camera because it made it so that we had to get a better camera.
Yeah. It came in handy. It came in handy for a lot of the videos and stuff that we did.
This camera is way easier for a novice to use. It's like a camera for someone who's a vlogger or like a TikToker or something, but they don't actually want to learn anything about photography.
That was really funny though. Yeah. So everybody asking how many people were in there for a minute. There was about over 100, and I was like, man, Patreon's been popping off.
Yeah, we're like, it's been 30 seconds we've been live. Yeah. Like, everyone, they're like, wait a second, those guys aren't on our Patreon.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have to be the reader because I'm too far away.
Yeah,
as always.
That's totally fine. That's totally fine.
I can't read that far away.
I will be reading. I will be the mod.
Thanks, bro.
How is everybody? Someone asked how you broke it. It fell off a tripod.
Yeah, I had it like balancing on a tripod because I was shooting something that needed 2 cameras. And before Michael left, he was like, hey, don't try to balance this on the tripod because it will fall off.
Yeah.
And then it was a really important video. And I was like, I need this extra shot. I need them to go during this, like the same audio at the same time. And then, we bumped it over and I had a meltdown. But Michael didn't really care. I still want to. I can probably fix the lens. I don't know.
Well, I took it to a repair shop, and the guy was like, "To fix this lens is going to cost like $400." And I think we bought the camera for like $650 or something. So I was just like, "There's no point. There's literally no point."
I'll make it up to you.
Doesn't matter. We got this one now. Watch the behind the scenes video. Super stoked. Yeah, we're excited too. That's coming out soon.
And you got any questions?
There's some questions piling up already. Some Diet Coke ASMR.
Yeah.
Hi guys, good to see you again. It took everything I had to wait until today, so spill the beans. How did Courtney's doctor's appointment go? What did he have to say, and what is the treatment plan?
You aren't gonna believe it. I can't even say. Okay, so let me go back to the olden times. Okay, so I was having a lot of difficulties. For those of you that don't know this, I was having a lot of difficulties back in 2012 because I went from just being like a normal person that was, casually doing shows every once in a while in a local band, to having no transition from that to being a musician that was performing on Warped Tour outside every day and then doing a full world tour headlining set for like the whole rest of the year when I joined Iwabo. So I was having a ton of difficulties, because I went from I never got to like work my way up to that. So at the time, our guitar player Steven, his girlfriend Nicole, who we still are really good friends with, she worked for the Grammy Foundation of Music Care, so they got me hooked up with seeing an ear, nose, and throat doctor in the States, and just to see what was going on. And sure enough, they did a scope, and there it was, just this giant, ugly polyp on my vocal cord, and those are just generally irreversible. So the only way you can get rid of them is surgery, and it sucked. I pretty much had to like relearn how to sing and scream. It was like going through puberty, or like, if you've ever had like a really bad injury, like when you're going back in the gym, it's just like your limit is much lower. Like you just can't push past this certain limit. It was very frustrating, and I didn't put a lot of time into it like I should have, because I was so busy, like always on tour or recording. But then when we quit Iwabo, I've really been trying over the last couple of years to not like squander that again. But I kept avoiding going and seeing a professional where I live because I was scared to do that. And I also, it's like there was never a good time to then go down the path of getting the surgery. There's always something like the recovery time was too long and I had to do this or that or yada yada. And also, as at the time we were like super broke, so like just going over to Vancouver to do that would have been like a huge ordeal.
Costly.
Yeah. So anyway, then this year, after I've had it on my mind, but I was gonna record a full length album in April, and that didn't happen. I had a tour I had to go on in March, and that canceled halfway through, so I couldn't do it, and then everything shut down because of the pandemic. And I've been really stressed out because it's like now I'm looking at our timeline next year and I'm like, this isn't fucking adding up. Like there's no little pocket of time where I can get this surgery and then take off like 5 months to rest my voice and then pretty much learn how to sing again. So I was, bugging about it. And so anyway, my doctor got me in with, the person around here. They live in Vancouver, so we had to take the ferry over. They specialize in professional singers doing surgery on their voices, and I was really nervous. And I went in there, and I had already talked to her on the phone about it. Then we went over there, and I was very stressed out with what she was gonna say. I thought she was gonna say like, "You've done worse to your voice. It's worse now than it was 8 years ago," or she was gonna be like, "Well, I can operate on you now. Like I can operate on you next month." And then if then not again, I don't have time for a year because we have all these festivals next year and I'm like very anxious about it. Like, you can fuck up when you're playing to 100 people, but you can't fuck up when you're playing to 10,000 people. And there's like, a freaking Steven Spielberg video thing happening.
Direct in.
Yeah. And so like, and then she sticks the scope down. They numb your throat with this numbing gel, which you'd like, if you that throat spray, like when you're really sick, it kind of tastes like that. It's gross. So you can't feel anything. And then honestly, like the metal rod they stuck down my throat, it was huge. Like it was like as long as my arm.
It was like a Terminator arm or something.
Yeah, it was so gross. And she's like, "All right, here we go." And she goes down. And I'm looking on the screen, and anyway, there's a reason why I gave you this whole giant explanation before, because this is now the climax. She's like, "Yeah, everything looks good," and I was like, I was like, "What?" And she was like, "Yeah, looks. I don't." And she kind of looked at me. She's like, "I don't really know what to tell you, but there's no polyp there." And I was like, "Okay." And she was like, "No. Yeah, see, here's the scar where there was something. But it's like, I don't know if I got abducted by aliens or some shit in the last couple of years,
Definitely.
but like she was like, I couldn't have done a better scar myself removing it. She's like, it's like a perfect little symmetrical scar. And I had one other little scar on the other side, but they're so tiny and insignificant. She said, in fact, they're smaller than the scar that she would leave if she had taken the cyst out herself.
That was a really good day.
And I just was like, what the fuck? Of course, I like freaking broke out crying. I just was like, what? I mean, I saw the cyst with my own eyes, and it's on video from the other ear, nose, and throat doctor. And I just was like, what, was I wrongly diagnosed or what? And she was like, well, we say that they're irreversible, but that's not technically true. Technically, there's a very small percentage of people that it goes away, breaks off or something. But it's kind of like a blister. So on some people, I guess it pops and it can heal. And I was just like, holy shit, well, how's my throat? How are my vocal folds and stuff? And she just was like, your vocal folds are perfect. They're absolutely beautiful. And I just was like, because that's like what I used to do screamies, right? And I've noticed a change in the last year in my voice. I've become a better singer. I've become better at singing and screaming. Like my range is getting better. And my my technique feels better, and I've been working at that. But I thought it was just because I've been working really hard, and it's been that. But I think it's also because this thing's gone away.
Well, and you're very disciplined too.
Yeah, and she said it. I was like, how has this happened? She's like, you are very disciplined. You obviously do a lot of vocal rest where you don't talk. So I'm like, okay, that's amazing, but I still lose my voice and am very inconsistent when I sing and stuff. What do I do? And she got me into what she was going to have me do anyway. And I have my first meeting with them tomorrow is I'm going to be seeing a speech therapist to figure out how to help me speak in a way that doesn't hurt my voice. So pay attention to how I sound now. And I guarantee you at the end of this live stream, my voice is going to be a lot more hoarse. And it's because of my speaking voice. It's like blowing my fucking mind. So I need to figure out how to, this lady's going to help me. And she used to be a professional opera singer, which is really cool. Now she's a speech therapist, and we're going to meet tomorrow, and she's going to give me all these exercises and stuff to do. And we'll see if I improve. So I'll keep you guys posted on that. If it goes really well, then I'll probably have her, maybe I'll interview her on the Patreon or something. We can all ask her questions.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry for the long-winded explanation. How happy were you, Michael? I haven't seen Michael that happy like since our fucking wedding day. Like he was just so worried for me.
There's a lot of factors at play.
There's a lot of time and money on the line.
Like our careers on the line too. If it was that severe or it was still there's a potential that you would have to stop.
Yeah, or postpone stuff, or just go out and do it and sound really bad.
Yeah, and then like a few years down the road, I've actually known some singers from like other bands in Canada and stuff that have had injuries and have just like worked through it, and they lost their voices basically. Like they just sound like an entirely different person. So
I feel like I've become better. Like we just did a thing that we're working on that's going to be like a very cool live thing coming up soon. And don't worry, when we're able to tell you guys more about it, we'll tell you more about it. Like a performance thing. And we found out about it like pretty last minute. And I was like, shit, I haven't sang in a long time. Like I hadn't done screaming and shit since I did the Holy Roller playthrough, because I've been trying to really rest my voice. And I was really worried and stuff. And then I did it, and I listened to it, and I was like, okay, you know what? Yes, you need to work on shit, but like you fucking got this. I practiced like 4 times and I nailed it. So
yeah, I'm excited for everybody to see it.
Yeah, so we're on a good path. Like I think that it's just we're gonna continue to grow, and then we're going to be able to, have our own sound guy and stuff who can make sure we're mixed properly, and that's gonna make us sound better and yada yada yada. So yeah, so I'm feeling a lot better about stuff, but I need to figure out and be disciplined on how to speak in a protective way. So I think I'm gonna learn a lot tomorrow.
All right, so I'm gonna go up here and go through some questions.
Yeah, don't worry. We'll answer everyone.
Oh yeah.
The other ones will not take 15 minutes to
No,
explain.
it won't. Okay. Let's see. Courtney's out here playing Phasmophobia in real life, yeeting the camera on the ground instead of putting it on the tripod. Boom, roasted.
I don't even understand that.
Obvious question is when is the new song out?
Very soon.
Very soon.
Seriously, like in the next couple weeks.
Yeah, we're excited.
Not so. Yeah, do the math. It's in a couple weeks, but it's in December. So
Did you learn any more of Bill's secrets? We learn more about Bill every time we hang out. The guy's got secrets for days.
What have we learned about him recently that we didn't know? Every time you guys were like, what the fuck are you
just
talking
learned
about?
some crazy thing about him that you didn't know before. I don't know. I can't remember.
If I think about it, I'll tell you.
We'll let you know. With the delay with recording, finishing the new album, do you find yourself thankful for more time to fine-tune the songs, or do you end up second-guessing rewriting too much?
Yeah, a little bit of both.
A little bit of both, but to be honest with you, the few sessions that we've had for this album were really, they're pretty serious. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we spent a lot of time.
It's almost a year ago.
And it's been so long that like we've taken enough breaks from these songs to know which ones are the ones, and which ones might need a little bit of fine tuning. Right now, we're just focusing on writing like a few more, and we're actually having a discussion on Tuesday with our team to figure out a definitive recording date and where we can do that. Yeah. We're trying to record in January, and it's looking like we're gonna have to travel somewhere altogether internationally in order to do it because the States is so
I ain't going there
right now, and we're not going to the States, so we might have to go somewhere. Like,
and I don't know if Dan can come here.
Dan won't be able to come here either.
Let him in.
And we're not going to do it remotely. We're going to like write more remotely, but then as far as like the actual recording aspect and stuff, it has to be all cohesive at the same time in the same like few week period.
It wasn't efficient. We just did it.
Yeah, it wasn't efficient. This new song. Like it was efficient in certain aspects because this new song that we recorded was written a year and a half ago, so we already kind of knew what we were getting ourselves into. We weren't adding to it all that much. The only thing that we were kind of collaborating on in certain aspects was the vocal.
Yeah.
The instrumental had been done for so long. So, yeah, it's like, I don't know. It's difficult to say, really.
It's like it was inefficient in the way of the mixing part because, like, we got to, like, 20 versions of the song mix because – if we were just with Dan in real life, we'd all be standing there and we'd like, hey, can you turn the bass up like a decibel? And he would, and we'd be like, I don't like that.
We got to mix,
turn it down,
Yeah, we got to mix 20 on this song.
To be fair, we start the version from the first inception of the song. So version 1 was when we created the song, and then version 2 was when like Dan added something to the song, and then so I think we still probably did 10 mixes on
at least.
And so I mean we mixed the song. I have a picture of Michael and Dan changing shit and mixing the song within the hour of when we had to turn the song
when we submitted it.
Yeah. Like I took a photo of them because I was like, this is dumb, but that's how we do it. Like we do everything up until the last minute. This is probably the most prepared for a release we've ever been. And that music video isn't fucking done.
No. It has to be Dylan. It has to be turned in tomorrow, and he's still.
Yeah, Dylan is gonna have a nervous breakdown because there's a lot of special effects in this one.
Yeah.
And Dylan, rather than what I would do, is be like, hell no, I'm not doing that. I'm gonna pay someone to do it for me who does this all the time. Dylan was like, no, I'm doing it, and he's literally going in frame by frame and like doing, because there's in the video there's like a bunch of objects that disappear
Yeah.
while we are there. So this is gonna be cool. It's like our first video with special effects.
All right, let's see. Very tempted to buy a ticket for just a Sunday at Download to see you guys. Gonna wait a few more months first though to see what the situation is, but Download is literally up the road from me.
Yeah, I think that a lot of the outdoor festivals by that time would be fine.
Yeah, I think so. I honestly think that
It's the
vaccine will
indoor.
be probably here by spring.
It's the indoor stuff that's like, if it's an indoor thing, like I wouldn't hold my breath. But
Yeah.
at Download, I mean, everyone can have masks on and just stand very far away from each other. And I think that they're just gonna have to sacrifice making money and be like, you can only drink in these little social distance sections. Like, we don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Too bad you just can't get drunk tonight. And they'll lose out on a lot of money doing that, but it's to
Probably
me,
a
it's
lot
like,
less than canceling.
yeah. So to me, it's like the only way to have that happen. And so I hope that that works. But
Yeah.
it, it it could, you never know. So like I would totally wait as well until closer to, but at the same time, everyone's gonna be so excited to go back to the festivals that like I think a lot of shit's gonna sell out.
Yeah, I think so too. I love the influence of horror cinema in your music video, like Midsummer. What is your biggest influence for movies? That's a good question. I think it all depends on the type of song and the type of video that we're going for. I think a lot of the time with the audio and stuff, we've been kind of labeled as like a horror band, but at the end of the day, like we base the entire band name around a device that talks to the dead, and it was supposed to be used in a way where when something pretty was happening, it would come up the spirit box, or when something heavy was happening, it would come up. And I think that inherently, because the mood of the band is pretty dark, the videos reflect that too.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's really a specific style of horror or something like that. It's just that the band is very bleak and the subject matter is very dark, lyrically especially too.
Yeah.
So, as far as like basing certain videos and stuff off of horror movies or whatnot, or having inspiration drawn from them, it's more so the fact that majority of the time we're doing the videos ourselves, and we're kind of thinking in our heads what could be strikingly creepy in this shot. You know what I mean?
I think that we're most influenced by like not by a certain film or anything, but just like cinematography in general versus story and camera direction.
Yeah.
Like we look at things more so to get inspiration for like color grading and general cinematography. That's kind of what we are most inspired from all those movies from.
I hope that answers your question. Glad to hear it's fine. You don't have to get treatment. Me too. I'm very happy.
I can't believe I still
screamed the polyp into the ether.
Seriously, it's
yeah,
like
basically.
It's just like I just yelled so incorrectly that it burst my polyp or something.
How much time in between doctor's visits? You went first in 2012, and then we just did this a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
It's like 8 years.
So like, yeah, but I noticed a change like a year ago in my voice and my integrity of my voice. But I just thought it was because I've been working really hard to on my own to become a better singer. It's probably a little bit of both.
So, a little column A, a little column B.
And I highly doubt. The only thing I can think of is maybe the original ENT, and I'm gonna follow up with her because they save all that footage and shit. Or at least like still images from it. I think either she misdiagnosed and it wasn't a polyp and it was a node, those can go away. Those are more like a callus than a blister. And so in the grand scheme of like the worst, it's like if we go from least bad to most bad, it goes node, polyp, cyst. Polyp and cyst, you have to have surgery, but it still could have been the polyp because you said, well, we just say they can't go away without surgery, but technically they do sometimes. Very small percentage of people. Not even worth mentioning.
We genuinely care about your well-being, Court and Mike. We're very happy to hear the great news. That's very kind of you to say. Thank you.
That's the first thing we thought. We were like, Oh,
got to
the
tell
patrons
everybody.
are gonna be so excited.
Yeah, yeah.
I think Michael said it in the Discord, didn't you?
I think that day I was like, guess what, guys?
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm late here, but also in 10 minutes I'm gonna pick up my new kitty. Wow, that's an exciting day.
Oh, congratulations!
Congratulations.
The cute baby.
Hello. How much do the coffee beans cost? Stoked about the blessed beans. I don't know how
Oh,
much
I
they
have no
cost.
clue.
We're not sure yet, but
Because we haven't decided yet.
yeah. I don't know. I would say that they're probably pretty reasonable.
I have no clue.
It's the same company that the Animals as Leaders
Yeah.
on.
So just check out the Animals as Leaders ones.
Yeah.
It's local to not us, but to our manager. It's this really cool local coffee shop.
Yeah.
And it's a guy actually who was a crew guy on tour. And so, during the pandemic, he obviously was out of work and he just decided to like start his own business with like local sourcing of beans or like in local roasting and then ethically sourced beans from all over the world. And it's pretty cool. It's pretty awesome that it's very successful right now. So
yeah, he's doing well.
Yeah, we'll give you guys more info. I'm not sure how much it's gonna cost yet though.
We'll figure it out.
Because we keep changing up. Like we were gonna have like a cool box that it came in that said Spirit Box, like a wood box, but then that would take an extra 3 weeks, so we decided not to. So that's gonna bring the cost down, and so we're still deciding all that stuff, all the boring stuff. I won't bother you with it.
So the hope is by doing certain exercises and techniques, it will help with being less sore and tired afterwards.
Yeah, it's like I need to learn. I'm gonna have to relearn how to talk in a different way, because the way I speak is putting too much pressure on my anatomy in here. Like I get really hoarse. My voice gets really fatigued, which is a symptom of having a polyp. And so I just get really fatigued really quickly when I talk.
Can't wait to hear you all live. Can't wait to play for you. 2021 looking to not be the worst year ever. I mean, fingers crossed. We'll see. It's pretty. I don't know, but yeah, let's stay positive.
I just want to. I'm pessimistic, so that way I'm,
disappointed. On some items in the store, there's low stock. Will sizes be refilled, or is it when they're gone, they're gone?
In a normal world, I would say that we would phase things out on sale that were low stock because our sources for the garment is gone, and we don't want to like reprint it and have different types of garments. But since we're in a pandemic, I can't answer that because normally there'd be almost 3 times the amount of people working on all this stuff than there are currently. So I don't know if it could be 6 months till we get stock in some of that stuff.
Yeah.
But if we do restock anything, it might look slightly different, and then we're gonna have to like make a mock-up of the thing, but on a new type of shirt.
There's also a newsletter on the site that you can sign up for, and we'll get email blasts when things are restocked or when there's new stuff.
And if that's what you want. It's us, like our manager Jason, doing these email blasts. It's not like some random thing.
No.
So we're not trying to annoy anybody.
Yeah, it's just for people that want to sign up.
Yeah, he's not like spamming you.
Have you considered doing any kind of live set and selling tickets for it like other bands are, or are you going to wait for the actual crowds?
Well, we're not all in the same place, which is hard.
Yeah, it's very difficult.
There's no way for us to be ever in the same place.
As we kind of touched base on a couple minutes ago, like we have done a live show that will be coming out soon, but it's a little different, and I think that people will really be excited about it. So,
oh yeah, bud,
we'll keep you on the loop as soon as we're able to.
And it was one of those things that it's not for TV, like it's not for video. And then we were just like, fuck it, let's film it. Let's film it too, just in case it turns out really cool.
Yeah.
And so we filmed it, and I'm so glad we filmed it because it turned out really great.
Yeah.
But that you'll hear about that really soon in December, because we're getting to the reason we were asked to do this live set is for like a really, really cool thing. So you'll be able to hear it
and then watch it
on these places, and you'll be able to watch it with
on
us.
others.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, ooh, recording in the tropics. We don't know yet. We've talked about a few things. I suggested Bermuda.
Well, I'll go wherever they have really strict COVID rules. So
Yeah.
like Bermuda, you go there, you take a test, they come and see you every 3 days, and they make you take another test. So that I'm into that.
And another, I know this is the States, obviously, but Hawaii is another one that's actually.
They're not allowing, like, they're so protective. They're gonna be like, no, get the fuck out of here.
I just read a thing being like, yeah, as long as you take a test when you get here. But we have a little bit of time to figure that out. So we're gonna have to do it somewhere like very remote.
Yeah, we're gonna look like such assholes because the only places that are open for Americans are all places like that really depend on the American tourist industry.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be like, oh, we have to go to Jamaica.
Oh.
You know, but there's no we can't. Dan can't come here, and I'm not fucking going down there. With all your COVID asses. I'm not trying to bring that. I'm not trying to be patient zero up, bring it up here.
We'll be very proud to rock you guys as my top played on Spotify this year.
Oh,
yeah. Thank you.
That's awesome. Oh yeah, all those the end of the year playlists and stuff.
Yeah, they're gonna start coming out.
Those blow my mind.
Bill was supposed to be working on a special project for us. Is that still happening? And any hints? Also, I'd like to see him finish the tattoo series he started. The first one cracked me up. Yeah, Bill did his secret project, and he is now in the editing phase. So you'll see that very soon. And as far as
stupid
a tattoo tour, he's also working on that too. So I will give him a little friendly reminder.
I think he's doing his legs.
Yeah.
For the next one.
For all the drum and bass stuff and environment layers, do you do those or does Dan?
50-50.
Well, it just depends on like which layers you're talking about. Like, it depends on who comes to the table with the idea. So, like for instance, like Rule of Nines, all of the outside atmosphere and sounds and stuff was from me. I did it on a machine, Native Instruments machine, and just like stretched it out and did whatever. And then something like Holy Roller, I came up with all of the guitars and the drums and the bass and stuff, but then Dan came up with certain like the drum and bass part and like the first beginning sound and like some of the synth stuff. So it just depends. Like if we're on a roll and he's just like, I got something, we just go for it. You know what I mean?
Tell him what I say a drum and bass part would be so fucking sick here. And then rather than me like learn how to do that like with the MIDI, Dan just amazing at it. So he's like, you mean like this? Yeah. I'm like, thanks, bud.
So it all depends. I mean, it's all situational, but basically like anything outside of verb tails, delay parts, clean parts, guitars, bass, like especially in our older stuff, we had like a lot more atmosphere. I would do all of that. And then we've been trying to incorporate a lot more outside sounds. So if I'm not like completely exhausted and just like whatever, he'll come up with some synth sounds or some top line stuff. But if I'm feeling into it and I'm wanting to present an entire thing, then yeah, I'll include some sounds that he will even then go further and like tweak or like use as inspiration to come up with a different sound. So
they have very similar style, so they work very well off each other.
Yeah, me and Dan have a very similar ear, which helps a lot. You've had that guitar for a little while now. How are you liking the Evertune Bridge? It's mental.
Life-changing?
Like, it's mental. Like, certain aspects of it take a bit to get used to. But, I mean, like, the pros outweigh the cons by 1,000,000,000%. Like, when we did that live thing that we're about to come up, it honestly, like, when we play Beauty of Suffering, it sounds like I grid edited because it's just all perfectly sonically in tune. When we recorded that song, like back in 2016, it took hours, and we even retracked certain parts because the low F sharp just wouldn't hold because I was using a guitar that was only 26.5-inch scale, and like I didn't have my string gauge down at that point, so like I was running the wrong string gauges as well. But now it's like, it doesn't matter what gauge I throw on there. It doesn't matter whatever. Like that bridge just slams it. And like, you can't, like, you know, when like you hit really hard, like you hit the low string and you usually have that waver. You don't get that with the Evertune anymore. It just literally strikes to the fundamental note that you set. So that takes a minute to get used to. But when you do,